Now let us begin with one of the lessons. The name of the lesson is History of Novel. Last part of the lesson, the types of novel. The some types of novel we seen in last video. So now begin with psychological novel. Psychological novel is the work of fiction that treats the internal life of protagonist or even the other characters as much as the external factors. So in psychological novel, the mainly one thing is studied, that is the internal life of protagonist or even character as much the external factors. That's things studies in सायकोलॉजिकल नॉवेल इन मराठी. मानसशास्त्रीय कादंबरी या प्रकारात कथेतील मुख्य पात्र किंवा इतर पात्रांचा अंतर्गत जीवनाशी बाह्य घटकांप्रमाणे महत्त्व दिले जाते. स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस नॉवेल. Stream of consciousness is the phrase coined by William James in his treatise Principle of Psychology 1890. It means flow of thoughts. Incidents in the plot are in the sequence of their occurrence. The novelist narrates them as they enter the mind of the character. Stream of psychological novels. There is one person who coined that particular principle of psychology, whose name was James Williams in 1890s, and it is that psychological novels mainly work on flow of thoughts and sequence their occurrence. They enter the mind of character. That's things mainly we studies in the stream of consciousness novel in मराठी. कॉन्शियसनेस कादंबरी. विल्यम जेम्स यांनी मानसशास्त्राचा सिद्धांत 1890 या त्यांच्या घरंथात ही संज्ञा तयार केली आहे. यांचा अर्थ विचारांचा प्रवाह कथानकातील घटना त्यांच्या घडण्याच्या क्रमानुसार येतात आणि जशा त्या पात्रांमध्ये मनात येतात तशाच लेखक त्यांना सादर करत असतो. द नेक्स्ट टाइप्स ऑफ नॉवेल. Bildungsroman novel. A German word Bildungsroman indicates the growth. What indicate the growth. The fictional biography, autobiography, is concerned with the growth of the protagonist's mind, spirit and characters from their childhood to adulthood. So this is and the fictions of biographical or autobiographical, and this is the growth of protagonist from childhood to adulthood. So in मराठी, जर्मन शब्द वाढीला सूचित करतो. बिल्डन्सरोमन कादंबरी. मुख्य पात्राच्या बालपणापासून तारुण्यापर्यंत मानसिकता, आत्मिक स्वभाव, वैशिष्ट्यांच्या प्रगल्भतेवर आणि काल्पनिक चरित्र किंवा आत्मचरित्र आधारित असते. In the first half of the 20th century, a pulp magazines became popular in which fantastic fictions for the general entertainment of the masses was printed on the cheap pulp papers. The pulp fictions era provided the building ground for the detective novel and science novels. So in 20th century there is one particularly magazine published. The name of that magazine is Pulp magazine. That is very popular and that became very fantastic in general entertainment of the people, and that is printed in low cost. In that particular pulp magazine have detective novel and scientific fictions that are therein. 20व्या शतकाच्या पूर्वार्धात पल्प लगदा मासिक हा प्रकार लोकप्रिय झाला होता. त्यामध्ये स्वस्तातल्या स्वस्तात लगदाचा पल्प कागदावरती सर्वसामान्यांच्या करमणुकीसाठी काल्पनिक कथा छापण्यात येत असत. या पल्प कथांच्या युगाने डिटेक्टिव्ह, रहस्यमय कादंबरी आणि विज्ञान कथांचा पाया रचला असे म्हणता येईल. Science fiction is a genre of speculative fictions dealing with imaginative concepts such as futuristic setting, futuristic science, technology, space travel, time travel, parallel universe, and extraterrestrials' life. Science fiction often explores the potential consequences of scientific and other innovation. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley's 1823 is considered the first novel based on the science and technology. The genre flourished in the second half of the 19th. In this scientific fiction, there are some imaginary concepts are flourish. Their settings and technology, space, travel, time, novels, parallel universe, and extraterrestrial lives. That's why people can very interestingly read that, and that has mainly flourished too much, develops too much in the second half of the 19th century. There is an concept innovations in that particular time. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley's 1823 is considered the first novel based on the science and technology in Marathi. विज्ञान कथा ह्या काल्पनिक तार्किक कथा प्रकार भविष्यकालीन परिस्थितीत भविष्यकालीन विज्ञान, तंत्रज्ञान, अंतराळ भ्रमण, टाइम ट्रॅव्हल, परिसृष्टी आणि परग्रहीय जीवन यासारख्या कल्पित संकल्पनांवर आधारित असतो. विज्ञान कथेत अनेकदा वैज्ञानिक आणि इतर नवकल्पनांचे संभाव्य परिणाम शोधण्याचा प्रयत्न केलेला असतो. त्याच्यात पहिलं फ्रँकेनस्टाईन हे जे नॉवेल आहे ते नॉवेल मेरी शेलीने 1823 मध्ये पहिल्यांदा विज्ञान आणि तंत्रज्ञान याच्यावरती लिहिण्यात आलं आणि 19व्या अर्ध्या वर्षात सेंचुरीमध्ये तर जास्तीत जास्त प्रमाणात हा जो प्रकार आहे सायन्स फिक्शन तो डेव्हलप झाला होता. Detective fiction is the sub-genre of the crime fictions, mystery fictions, in which the investigators or detective, either professional or amateur investigator or crime, often murder. In detective stories, there are many things are shown here. That's are crime fiction, mystery, investigator, detective, professional, amateur investigator, crime, and often मर्डर. इन मराठी डिटेक्टिव्ह गुप्तहेर कथा, गुन्हेगारी कथा आणि रहस्य प्रकारचा कथा उपप्रकार आहेत. यामध्ये अनुभवी आणि व्यावसायिक गुप्तहेर एखाद्या गुन्ह्याला किंवा खुनाचा तपास करत असतो. या सगळ्या गोष्टी आपल्याला डिटेक्टिव्ह फिक्शनमध्ये बघायला मिळत असतात. सो वी हॅव टू बी कम्प्लीटेड दिस लेसन. द नेम ऑफ दॅट लेसन यू ऑलरेडी नो दॅट 4.1 हिस्ट्री ऑफ नॉवेल. सो वी कॅन take some of the revision, short revision, and we stop the video. So in the first starting of the novel you will see that the particularly the names of the writers and their work and what is the history of novel. The beginning introduction you will see that. So there is afterwards the particularly Indian scenario and who were written something on that particular novel. That thing you will see that afterwards what is novelia that you will see, and after elements of the novel and that carries theme, plot, characters, setting, conflict, language styles, and so on. That thing you see that in the particular element of the novel or novella. That is very important in the period of examination, that the short question will be asked and long question may be asked. Write down the elements of the novel, or maybe 2 marks question, write the meaning of the theme or write something about the plot. That kind of the question will be asked. Afterwards second part, the types of novel. So you will get the some kind of the question will be asked. Write down the realistic novels, episodic novel, picaresque novel, that you will be practice of that. The types of novel: realistic novel, picaresque novel, historical novel, episodic novels, gothic novel, autobiographical novel, allegorical novel, utopian, dystopian novel, psychological novel, stream of conscious novel, Bildungsroman novels, science fictions, pulp magazines, and detective fiction. That's are the parts of or types of the novel you will see in this video. So it is very important for the students of learning literature. That is the one kind of the literature, and that as the introduction of the literature you will learn in this lesson, and the vast subject learn the students of FY21. So you will be study very well the purpose of examinations. Thank you.